Hey, Internets, you're listening to For All Nerds, and on this episode, we review Daredevil episode 7, where we talk about why Muse was a giant waste of our time.
And what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. It's your boy DJ Ben Hameen, aka El Diablo Abogado, aka Satan's Solicitor, aka It's Matt Murdock, aka We Don't Miss Muse, and we are here as always. I'm joined by
Tatiana Keene, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Glorilla, Grodd, Flex, Luthor, Lambo Calrissian, Captain Destiny's Child. Oh, where did that come from?
Wow.
That was actually a different one. Oh, that was Clandestine, the Clandestiny's Child. Okay. Coldest Winter Soldier ever, Doc Ock and Tesseract Thompson.
All right. We are back. A little, misnomer there in the AKAs.
Yeah.
We are here.
That wasn't on the list.
We are back to review Daredevil Born Again, episode 7. As always, we have no idea what the title is because we were watching these ahead of time, which is how we're miraculously able to upload this so quickly to y'all. So yeah, episode 7. I have to say this off top. The first time I watched this, I was like, yo, this episode weak as fuck. Second time I watched it, I was like, nah, this episode's pretty good. I actually, corrected myself. I'm glad I did that before the review because I enjoyed it much more the second time, especially because Muse caught them hot pockets. Let's just say it right off top. Muse catching the hot pockets made everything better for this episode. I've been waiting for this moment. I didn't care how he went out as long as this clown went out, and he finally caught them hot pockets at the end of this episode, which was fantastic. Before that, though, we had a couple of I gotta say, yo, I don't know. It's like, I get it, my man's an artist, but a man painting in the middle of the dark in an alleyway, I'm not approaching him, fam. I'm letting that man do what he does, But these two shorties were just like, nah, fuck it,
Well, one, because you're a black man, so you know
True.
better. And then two, at least for cases of me, I'm a New Yorker and I mind my business. Real New Yorkers mind their business.
That part.
So those ladies were definitely transplants. That shit was just, they asked for that. Sorry.
Yeah, they did. And how he was able to serve both of them at once was, I guess that's that taekwondo. There's a lot of things about Muse that I hate. And this, I have to say, in the comic books, he's like alleged to be an inhuman. So that allows for him to have some of the powers that he has and the abilities, and the toughness and everything. So him just knowing taekwondo and being taught by some master taekwondo artist in this.
Oh, you feel like they nerfed him for the live action?
Not only nerfed, it made it implausible because I just did not, feel any threat coming from this dude. And I was really, as usual, getting tired of Daredevil getting his ass kicked by, minor bosses.
By scrubs.
Yeah.
Honestly, this whole Muse thing just gave me Arkham Asylum minor boss. Like, It didn't give me
and not a good one.
Kingpin. And I know you said that after the second go round, you were like, oh, you thought it was a little better.
You did not.
I didn't think, no, well, I thought it got better as it went on. Now, and I was able to pick and choose the things that I enjoyed more than others. Like, again, the character acting, the character building of Wilson Fisk, Wilson Avery Fisk, as I call him, and the fight at the end, because it was some Mortal Kombat shit happening here and there, but otherwise, I was just like, I don't know. I felt this episode was a little bit middling. And I know people were giving that for whatever reason, for episode 5. I said for whatever reason with the caveat, because we already know what the reason is. But I don't know. I was sitting there like, is the wind coming out of the sails? If it may have felt like that for me as I was watching, I was just like, this doesn't feel. And again, I think it's because of Muse. I think this anchoring of Muse is what has been throwing me off. And I'm just like, this is not worth my time. Muse specifically is not worth my time.
Yeah. And I get it because you have to, I guess, you have to have the secondary B plot or whatever villain. I don't really know how thematically, Muse connected to the overall thing, other than there's this idea of vigilantes and
mask
and we need people in masks or we need vigilantes, I
that
guess.
was the big thing in episode 6. They said, and what I took away, does a mask allow you to be your true self, or does it strip away your identity and allow you to do whatever you want? And that was what Dr. Heather was trying to say. Mm-hmm. And yes, then they had to personify it with a whole unnecessary episode, I guess.
I'm Muse when he wrote it on her arm. Come on, fam.
Honestly, then the other reason why this episode did bother me in ways is because it was, what's the word when you know everything's about to happen?
Predictable.
It was predictable. It was highly ridiculous. Predictable, and it was highly rote in terms of, I've seen this before. Yes, the crazy person corners the doctor, the advocate, the friend, and do you know who I really am? Yeah. And I'm about to kill you. And then they get saved at the end, and the person almost dies, and then they have they have their own second awakening, the person that almost dies, and then then it fucks up relationship. Like, I just feel like, guys, we're having episode 1 and 2. Like, we was somewhere else. We were somewhere else not too long ago, and now we're kind of here on some elementary shit. So perhaps this has something to do with the rewriting of the season. Maybe this was some stuff that got thrown back in there. But whose idea was Muse?
I have to hope that it was the original showrunners, and this was just stuff they were left with, but I still don't understand the choice to go ahead and keep that in there. I guess unless budgetary and time restrictions had to be the only thing. Like, they had to do something. They already had scripts wrote. So here we are.
Did they just want to see how much blood they could show, since now Marvel can show blood, and that's what this is? Because that's all they gave. Watch me cut somebody and use their blood for finger painting. Like, okay. Heard.
All the time spent with, the dude trying to explain what the paint had in it, and this stuff is invulnerable because of the blood.
Spent just for fucking Heather to put 4 hot ones in the nigga. What was the point? Y'all should have been in that shit. That is a regular degular off the street that's wearing a funny mask and looked stupid as fuck. Kill that nigga. Like, why is Matt fucking
struggling
with, like, again, where is happening when we come to power levels? The man opened up a safe through hearing alone. A safe with 50 cajillion combinations that could not be solved in 50 billion years, and he solved it. But he can't take a blue belt nigga from Taekwondo.
This nigga,
I don't even know if they do belts like that in Taekwondo. What the fuck, bro?
Matt was trained by literal ninjas.
What? So then none of this shit would happen. A real ninja would have had that shit done before he even walked in the room. A real ninja would have been like, it would have been over.
It would have been just like
before he stepped in the room.
When the cop stepped in the room and that man got the baton to the head.
It's like they knew this was a whack-ass villain, and they said, oh, man, we spent all this time on this nigga, 3 episodes, and they said, we got to wrap this up. Pop, 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 pop. What? Y'all wasted my time. That's the only thing that really, like, particularly irritated me. They wasted my time. And then I have to ask, is Heather the only fucking therapist in all of New York City?
Look,
why does everybody go to her?
Look.
Now, remember before I was like, maybe it's smart. Buck knows who she really is. No, y'all being lazy.
Don't know nothing.
Y'all being lazy and literally throwing every A, B, C, D, E, F, G character to Heather's door. For what? What?
And it's utterly ridiculous, because knowing how this episode ended, I feel like Heather's not even going to be in season 2.
That's what I'm saying. She is, and that's why I said, when I said what happens is the person who gets victimized ends up getting traumatized too. And then who knows what's going to happen with them. She gone. I can't deal. She was just about to break up with Matt like 30 minutes earlier, because she was just like, I see that you have unresolved trauma.
And stay lying.
And you lied to my face. And that's another thing. How you going? First of all, that must be, sorry to the therapists out there, but that might be a little bit hard if y'all don't know how to turn it off when you have a relationship, how to turn off the analysis of your partner.
Oh, that's impossible.
It might be impossible. And I'm like, that must be a hard relationship too, when you have someone who's literally a whole nother person, and then someone who's a therapist whose job is to find out who you really are, or help you find out who you really are. And they're like constantly analyzing you, constantly psychoanalyzing you. That's crazy to me.
That's a dumb fuck.
To
Like, no shots. But like, why would you even involve yourself with this woman? I guess because he's like,
he didn't know all of Gotham was gonna go sit on her couch.
He also did, but he did know that eventually he was going to go back to being Daredevil. You know, I loved how he even said that in this episode where he was like, she was like, "You pray?" And he's like, "Oh no, I used to do that, but I don't do it anymore." And he's basically talking about being Daredevil because he knew he was about to go back to being Daredevil. Yeah. Yeah, he did not know all of Gotham, but it's that type of thing where, Spider-Man always says, if my enemies knew or Batman, if my enemies knew who you were, they'd kill you. And this dude has major enemies. Like as he's getting involved with this woman, his biggest enemy just became mayor of New York.
His biggest op runs the city.
Yeah.
And has control of the NYPD.
And you're not going to be able to live with that. There's a moment in Invincible coming up where Invincible makes the type of choice where he's like, okay, I can't live with this. And so he makes a choice about it. I won't even, go into what it is, but, and it's the logical choice in that situation. A lot of people are like, damn, that's fucked up. But, Matt could have made that same choice, is all I'm saying. And he did not. Instead, he chose to, keep living in this city and dating a woman who is going to find out everything because, you got to date like I don't know, train operator. You know what I mean? Like
MTA operator.
Yeah, man. Somebody who's stressed out and they work and they ain't got time to think about shit when they come home. You ain't got you
I just drive the bus.
Yeah.
Drive the bus down the route. Go home.
Yeah. I go home.
I mind my business.
I mind my business.
And there's enough of them where it's just like, who's really like, unless they know your route like that, they're not gonna bother you. Like, but that would be Daredevil's, but that would be his luck, right? Like the crazy
fly right into the goddamn bus.
Right, he'll fly into the bus, or the crazed, depraved op.
Yeah.
Memorizes the bus route of his cousin, sister, father.
No, on this show, he would just randomly get on the bus. He wouldn't even memorize shit. He would just get on it. Like, okay, how the hell did Matt find Muse's lair?
Because I thought home. What do you mean? Oh, wasn't he following homegirl, the little girl?
Oh, okay, I guess.
Who cares? I'm less concerned about how Matt finds or figures out anything out. This man got superhuman hearing and all this other stuff. It's plausible. They already
was figuring out shit from fingers on an oil painting, and he cannot whoop this man's ass. I do not understand it.
Maybe Frank Castle, Master Splinter Self, gave him some pointers about what to do. Who the fuck knows? Who cares about finding niggas underground?
No, I'm just talking about why cannot Matt just beat this man's ass?
Why can't he beat anybody's ass?
I don't know. I get it on certain people.
That's the kind of the point of him. Like, it's about him constantly fighting, being bruised, I should say, as well as being a bruiser. I did like that, Officer Powell got rocked again.
Like, all right, let's talk about
that was great.
Officer Powell and his mutant power of healing.
Like, he got bing in the head, and then like literally 30 seconds later.
Literally 30 seconds later, up, no marks.
If
nothing.
I got hit with a metal adamantium baton, I don't
thrown
think I'm
at
up.
you, and you drop like a bag of potatoes to the concrete where your head is banging again. I think he banged the wall on the way down, for that matter, because he slumped. Like I watched it a couple of times because it was so funny. Because it's even more hilarious how Matt's like, "Oh fuck!" Like
I just started laughing. I was like, again. Like, is this gonna be the thing every time you see Officer Powell? Here he is, bing,
robbed. My man gets up and he has nothing.
Every time,
but he has nothing, no marks, like nothing. Like his forehead is clean, son. His shit would be purple. Like,
at what point is he gonna figure out that Daredevil is Matt? Because he's like, only 2 people in this world give him the business on sight. There's only 2 people giving the business on site every time. Matt Murdock and Daredevil. And they never in the same room at the same time. It got to be the same person. When did you figure that shit out? Like, come on.
This nigga slow as fuck.
I'm sorry. One more thing that I gotta mention. One more thing I gotta mention that annoyed me. Before I go into the stuff that I like, one more thing that annoyed me when I said about stuff being wrote.
I know you listen to the show, you watching the show, you're enjoying the show, you loving For All Nerds. So why haven't you told your friends about it? Why haven't you told your fam about it? Why haven't you told your foes about it? Let them know about For All Nerds. And while you're at it, make sure you hit those subscribe buttons on YouTube because you're watching us right now. You're seeing our beautiful melanated faces. You're loving all of this gloriousness right now. So stop watching and lurking. Hit the subscribe button. Follow. Join the fan. We love you for it. Thank you so much for all the support. Boom.
So after Matt made love to his girl and they sitting on the couch or whatever the fuck they was, and he's feeling her face, he's doing the typical, let me feel you, the outline of your face. Then fast forward when he gets to Muse's lair, he's looking through all the
oil paintings.
And then he feels her face in oil paintings and says, "Oh my God, he's after my girl." I was just like, "Are you serious? Are you that's how he figures it out?"
Yes. Really?
No, but think about that. When as a writer, just think about that. The day before, 24 hours before, I felt the contours and shape and
now you could have shown that in episode, the first episode face. They met. Yeah, they should have shown that early.
And then fast forward, as I feel the ops painting on the canvas, I notice a familiar turn and edge. That is my woman's face. He is after my love. Like, come on, man. That shit sound wild and stupid.
What if Muse was a terrible painter? What if he had no talent?
This sounds like a bad stories. Your grandma's stories. It sounds like the stories.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do the one thing. It was hilarious how he was like skipping over the drawings because he can't feel the drawings. So because her face was on one of the drawings and he was like, he just skipped right over it. I
don't know. It's just that's why I'm like, y'all getting silly now. Y'all getting silly for me. Like,
I mean, if he can feel the oil paintings, why can't he feel the fucking drawings? Why not? Like, it's just it was silly. And then the fact that he cannot serve this nigga. If he had like found the oil paintings and then walked in that room and bust this nigga across it, you know what I mean?
No, like you did not know you was mad the first time.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. If you come in mad, throw the nigga out the window, then I would have been like, okay. But he came in and got his ass bust, and then this man.
Listen, it's just that because I know Daredevil is clawing inside Matt Murdock's skin, like, let me out of this, bro. So just fucking let him out. Stop playing. They is playing with my time. And that's why I was like, this is why this episode annoyed me a little bit, but it did have some good things.
Yeah, like if he had bust that nigga's ass the way he bust Officer Powell's ass in episode 2, I would have been all for it. You know what I mean? If he just come in there and just rocked him left and right, and dude could have put up a fight, but I mean he just getting rocked at every angle, as he's putting up a fight.
Yeah,
I would have been for it, but no,
I was rocked. Like, even Heather did a little headbutt. Like I was like, okay, she got it in a little bit. What's happening?
And then she got it in. High pockets.
The best thing about particularly about the fight was when Daredevil did the Scorpion get over here with his little, what is that, a hook or a grappling hook or whatever the fuck, and put it through him. I was like, okay, finally. And even through that, how come Muse didn't feel that shit? Like Muse just kept on going after that. I was like, what's going on? Is their shit ineffective? What is happening? And then another thing, I see little Daniel think he's Kingpin Jr. And he's really leaning into that because what the fuck was that with BB?
Yeah, I guess that was him leaning into being Kingpin Jr. I was trying to like, I like Daniel as, the actor playing him or whatever, but I just did not care, in that scene. I think that was my whole
I never liked that boy from Jump Street because he reminded me of all the typical white boys who get a taste, start smelling their own shit. They get a little taste of something. No one pays them no mind any other time. You're giving real intel right now. Then a little bit time, you get a little bit of power. Oh, now you got to go off the deep end and start threatening people and doing this, doing that. I was like, who?
Talking about who ain't gonna be here for season 2, I'm betting on Daniel.
You don't think so?
No.
They're not gonna run with the Kingpin Jr. and stuff?
Oh, no. Kingpin is choking that man out by the end of the season. I was about to spoil another show, but it just came out recently. But yeah, it's to be reminiscent of another crime show that a lot of people watch.
Yes. Well, you know what? I could believe that because, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if I misunderstood this. No matter what, the only people coming up on top is going to be Vanessa and Wilson.
Yeah, pretty much.
No
And
matter
Buck.
what anyone try and Buck, but no matter what anybody tries to turn them against each other or anything, and including people like Daniel, I think, like to your point, they're not gonna make it to the next season. Now,
Now,
go ahead.
on that note, Vanessa sent my man to get murked.
That's what I'm saying when I said, please correct me. I don't think she sent anybody to get murked. I think she was trying to prove a point. I think she told Wilson what man's pulled up on her and try to recruit her to kill him. And then Wilson said, okay, send him down here and I'm gonna have my boy fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to say they was in on it together.
Okay.
That's the way I took it. I'm not gonna Vanessa's not stupid.
Yes.
Vanessa's not stupid. And at the end of the day, remember we were trying to figure out whether or not had each other's back when we were like, they don't know where the boyfriend was.
Yep.
Regardless, I still don't see her turning on him like that. Not easily. Oh, now, he's at 32 whatever street. He's alone? Really?
We have seen Kingpin busting that nigga Adam's ass now. So, that does. Do you still don't think she don't know where Adam is?
Maybe
she does not know.
Maybe she's being willfully ignorant too. Maybe she's God damn. I don't want to know where he is. Maybe, but I just think I wanted to make sure I read this last thing, at least in this episode. Like, I really do not think Vanessa really was like, oh, I'm going to send this man to kill Kingpin. Like, she was like, I'm sending this man to my husband so my husband can kill him. We can further prove a point that no matter what you do, you're not going to break us.
Yeah, and I agree with that reading because one, like you said, Vanessa's not stupid, and she would not send this idiot, to kill her husband because this idiot ain't getting the job done no matter.
Correct. Yeah. He's a scrub at the end of the day. These are low life scrubs that just about here for the money, which is why she told him, "Oh, you're gonna owe this money because you fucked up the plan back there." So, all right. But I did think that was hard how that went, just because how Buck was in the shadows and was just like, pop, pop, like. I was like, all right, cool. Now this is why I came here to see. Yes. I came here to see smart shit like that. Understand? Not no fucking news talking about, oh, my family made me do taekwondo. Like, nigga, who gives a fuck? Like, what do you want?
It's like, as they're discussing the taekwondo as the police is discussing it with Wilson, then he starts talking about it at the exact same time to the therapist.
Oh,
like that could have, again, they've shown them together before. He could have talked about it in an episode before. So then when it happens and he starts busting niggas' ass in this episode, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. He knows taekwondo.
Like, I didn't even have a, oh yeah, that's right type moment. No, it was
5 seconds ago.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah,
I remember you saying that in the other episode, and I wasn't connecting the dots before. Yeah, it was like I don't know. I think they was rushing it to wrap him up.
This whole episode felt like that too, because even in the intro where Matt's like, sitting around and having all the memories, and it's like all this nigga. This is all this season, nigga. I just saw this stuff. Like, nigga, you do not have to show me this again. We just saw it. It's on Disney Plus. I can rewind to it anytime I want. There's no need to. Yeah, but again, this episode was, it had its as I go back, it had its moments.
It had its moments.
Overall, no bueno.
Just one thing. Oh, so you changed your mind. Because before you like, oh, it wasn't bad. And you said, no, wait a minute, you're right.
Check myself before I read myself.
The only other thing, like, again, just a positive, particular. Again, I mentioned it. Wilson fits Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal. It's a couple of things that Wilson did or he continues to do, which I really fuck with. I love the fact that every time like people started saying, oh, I think Daredevil's back, Wilson was like, he's back. Like, he was just like, well, shit, if you back, fuck it, Kingpin back, right? Yep. Like, that's the energy I was feeling like, I told that nigga no, and he defied me. Okay, let's get ready to rock. Like, that's how I felt. So it got me energetic. Like, okay, he's like, well, if you gonna do that, I'm gonna be this way. And then also him doing that whole smart but kind of slimy stuff, which, like, for example, I could see him saying, okay, let Daredevil go ahead, let him save the city as he saved it, but we're gonna take credit. So let Daredevil do all the dirty work and we're gonna slide in and take the credit and make it, if this is the way it's going, and make it like Daredevil's obsolete. Make it like we're actually solving all the crimes and we need to get rid of these vigilantes. I think he could turn it that way, at least from not a marketing, for a PR perspective.
Yep.
For the city. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but
I also like the moment when Vanessa said, well, maybe it's time to get a new wardrobe. Because he's been rocking the black all throughout this season. And we all know the classic white is when he's,
the white's when he's on his shit. And we remember this whole season so far, it was just like him and Matt trying to bottle themselves inside and try to hide who they really are. They could just come out with it. You was Kingpin once and forever Kingpin, and you was once and forever Daredevil. You can't stay away. Like you said, Ben, you out there, you scratching, trying to get trying to get them rocks off. It's like, I got to get out there, man. Like they both, they cannot not be who they really are.
That's why he keeps Adam around, because it, allows him to at least get a little bit of that fiend out. It ain't the true shit, but I can go beat this nigga's ass at least. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Just like I can't go out and choke niggas out in the street like I like. Like that's my, that's my pleasure.
Well, he's still doing stuff on the law, and I think, and his wife is helping to enable that, particularly with how they killed this Russian.
That's what I'm saying. That tonight was she was like, you need to put that suit on again.
You need to go back to basics.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, cool.
Right.
Yes, my favorite thing. Would you like some steak?
Yeah, and that's the funny thing when Wilson is sitting there eating. It's always like he's sitting there like smacking and enjoying the fuck out of whatever it is. It was lamb last time, it's steak this time, and he'd be sitting there like, this is a delicious meal. This is a great time, and then chaos happens around him, and he's just so calm. That nigga is Kingpin.
Mm-hmm. Did he talk one last thing? Did he talk about himself in the third person when he was talking to Ivan the Terrible, or whatever that nigga's name is? Because he's like, you owe 1.8 million, and then you owe 1 million to him. Like,
I don't recall, but I went.
Or is he talking? No, because he's also talking about the other dude. Yeah, so I think that's still the other guy.
Okay, but I also wouldn't necessarily put it past him to talk about himself in the third person.
Not at all.
That's how he do. But listen, it was a weird episode. It was a weird episode. Yeah. It was a weird episode. One thing we did not get to say, particularly from episode 6, was I like the return of Jacques Duskeen. Is how you pronounce the name? Duskeen, whatever, from Hawkeye. So, again, just the more of the connecting the universes and connecting the characters together.
I definitely like to see that. I was hoping for a bit more, but I think that's about all we're gonna get in that little glimpse on the cell phone.
Yeah. And also, did Cherry basically quit, or he gonna come back, or what?
Cherry, I don't think he quit.
Cherry just upset for a minute.
Yeah, he just upset for a minute. I don't think he was quitting when he said, no, I don't think so. Maybe, but I doubt it. No, it's just I know Cherry. People will mention another show he was on, but he just still comes off like the character from The Wire, and the character from The Wire won't quit. He gonna complain, but he ain't gonna quit. And so that's why I'm like, nah, he ain't gonna quit. That dude, he there for it.
Yeah, he just mad for the moment.
And Matt was right. Back when you was a cop, nigga, you called me for this shit. And now
that I need your help, now you talking about you don't want to be a part of it, nigga. Who else is gonna save the city?
You a fiend like me, bro.
Who else gonna save Gotham?
Yeah, both of us are fiends, and you trying to act like you ain't either.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no. I again just center it more on Matt and Wilson. All these other people, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about none of these, unless it's like you do it real cool and it's a credible threat. Not no Taekwondo master that likes to finger paint. That's not it.
No,
y'all lost me.
My name is Muse. Muse. Like
y'all lost me on that.
He's a therapist, fam. I mean, she's a therapist, fam. She can spell your name, fam.
Like, don't you understand? I understand that you are off-brand Jesse Eisenberg. That's why I understand.
Wow. Yeah, I know he was giving off-brand Jesse vibes. Yeah, dollar store Jesse.
Whatever. 2 more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed that it's not going to end. There's not going to be a conclusion. There's not going to be no clean wrap up. This is one of them character shows that's just going to keep on going till it don't.
Yeah.
So do you think there's anything of note that will occur besides Kingpin puts on the white suit?
Somebody is not making it out of this season. Between the therapist and Daniel, perhaps both. Because that way both sides would have a loss,
We're going to see Ayala become the new White Tiger? Okay.
No way. No hope of that. The best we do is see Ayala find the
last name is Ayala. I forgot her first name, but...
Yeah. And so will the writers. Oh,
man.
Look.
Shout out to Nikki M. James. Shout out to Nikki, playing Kirsten, again from Severance.
Oh, she looked good this episode too, boy. That pantsuit was fuego. She was looking good in that brown. I was like, oh yeah, this office got money. Every time I see it, I'm reminded of that. Because she was not wearing no cheap shit. You cannot find that off the rack.
I just want to see Frank Castle. Listen, because also when all those pictures from when the on-set filming was happening in New York, like there was like several. There was one where it looked like it was a fight scene with, and I don't know if that was true, if it was scrapped or what. It was a fight scene where I saw Frank Castle fighting with Daredevil, or he looked like he was.
I think that's still
with
coming.
Him. Okay.
We're gonna still have some Frank before this is over.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
You know who we're not gonna see? Karen.
I don't know about that.
You think Karen's gonna pop out?
I think we're gonna see. I think Karen's gonna pop out.
Now I thought you did good, kid. Like what you
I thought you were about to say Foggy because that's who we definitely not gonna see. Look, no, because there's a storyline in the comic books where, and I didn't want to talk about this yet because people have mentioned it on YouTube in our comments. Shout out to everybody in the comments on YouTube. But there's a storyline from the comics where Daredevil fakes Foggy's death, and he is gone for a while, and then he comes back. And so people are like, maybe that's what happened.
The way Matt crashed out.
Yeah.
That man died.
Yeah. And the way that man was looking at his memorial this episode,
come on, bro.
I was like, that's a confirmation, if we've ever needed one. But no, that man been dead. Yeah.
He's passed away.
Hot pockets.
All right. That's been our review of episode 7 of Daredevil. Thank you so much for listening, watching, enjoying, or not enjoying. I don't care because you've made it this far, which means that's all that matters. Thank you.
Amazing if you didn't enjoy it.
Amazing. Thank you. Please make sure you are subscribed to For All Nerds on your favorite podcast platform on the YouTubes, For All Nerds TV. Tatiana King, myself, as well as DJ Ben Hameen. Make sure you are following us all over the interwebs. Please make sure you go to bigdjenergy.com to follow DJ Ben Hameen and his exploits as an author, music artist, producer, and all that stuff.
For real, I got, side note, I've been teaching myself the great art of mixing music because I've been, I learned
like finalizing the mix and.
Yeah, like actually mixing, like, the engineer. Shout out to my man, Young Guru. I was actually on the phone with him for the other day. And
good.
Yeah, but I've been learning that. And so now I can release my own stuff a lot faster because before I had to, let somebody else mix it. And now I can just like do some shit and mix it. So fire. Yeah. bigdjenergy.com.
Yes. I'm not going to go through every single last way you can support us because we actually say it at the end of the show every episode and I keep forgetting. But one thing I will say is these hot fire shirts, like my Sith Happens shirt here, and we got to figure out how we're going to do this Valor Margulis shirt that Ben Amin got up. But we're going to put these, the Sith Happens already up on the store, but we're going to put that Fire Game of Thrones one up on the forallnerds.com merch store. Again, go to that. That is one of the major ways that you can support this endeavor, this Black-owned, independently funded, owned media brand. forallnerds.com. Anything else, Ben?
Yeah, I don't know, but we're gonna figure out how to get y'all this Valor Morgullis joint because
they pulled it down from HBO. So
we're
gonna figure it out.
We're gonna figure this out because I love this design. If y'all do, let us know in the comments if y'all fucking with this. The all men must die, but we are not men design.
Was that Vagar in the front, or I don't know who that Granny? Well, not Vagar. It's just a.
It's a big ass
terrifying dragon.
Yeah, there we go. Because we are not meant to be a dragon. So, yeah, word up.
That like to fingerprint and take Taekwondo.
Oh my God, yeah. Other than that, we'll be back next week. To episode 8. One more after episode 8 for 9. We'll do a big all-star wrap up, and then finally April 22nd, Andor season 2. Oh my God. Can't wait, y'all. We'll be back. Thank you for joining us as always. Holla.
Hey, what's up, internets and the fan fam? This is Tatiana King for For All Nerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching the For All Nerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.
For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.